Let's get started. COVID?
Let's get started with COVID.
Let's do it.
It was a very dense few hours. That started with presentations on the epidemiology, the vaccine safety, the vaccine uptake, and all of these presentations were given by doctorate-level CDC scientists.
So some of these presentations focused on how hospitalization rates are highest in kids under 6 months, adults over 70, those who are most susceptible to severe COVID illness, the youngest and the oldest. So most of the kids who are hospitalized from COVID are kids under 2. And most of the kids who require ICU level care are unvaccinated. In addition to the burden on those kids under 2, it's also clear that a lot of COVID burden is affecting adults. 70% of deaths are occurring in adults over 65. So we're still having a lot of COVID transmission. We're having impacts on the youngest and the oldest. And overall, the takeaway from these discussions seems to be that instead of ACIP wanting to target everyone with a COVID vaccine, they're coming out with more targeted recommendations that higher risk groups only should be vaccinated.
Usually during this ACIP meeting, it ends with a vote where they vote about recommendations. They vote about who should be getting the COVID vaccine in the next year. They vote about, should this be universal? Should this be targeted? There was no vote for COVID-19.
What?
There was no scheduled vote because RFK Jr. unilaterally made his decision before the meeting.
That's right. A few weeks ago, RFK Jr. made the announcement that he was changing the vaccine recommendations for COVID-19 for pregnant women and young children on his own without waiting for this ACIP meeting.
He will maintain the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices recommendations without changes.
I didn't see that statement by Senator Cassidy. I've only heard it from you, but if he said that I agreed to it, it would be inaccurate.
This is really a change from the more transparent, consensus-driven way that vaccine schedules are usually made. And then it's also, to me, pretty notable because he was removing the recommendations for vaccination of pregnant women and young kids. But these presentations realize that unvaccinated kids, particularly those under 2, are at highest risk of needing ICU level care. So it really didn't seem like his decision aligned with the science.
His decision really didn't align with the science. Essentially, the ACIP members chatted a lot about the COVID vaccine, but they weren't voting. They weren't making any decisions. There were a couple of really interesting quotes, I think, that came out. I think Dr. Hibbelin really put it best. He said, quote, "The risk of an adverse event, for example, death from getting a vaccination, is 0. And by broad strokes, the benefits of getting vaccination is 40 to 50% reduction of risk."
It sounds like I would want that. But you know what? The decision was made. People didn't get to vote. We talked about some science. We reflected on it. And then we went with a decision that had been made before the meeting by a non-scientist. Check. COVID-19? Check. Moving on.